everyone and welcome to this Unhaul video. Like most collectors, my biggest issue is I am constantly running out of space trying to figure out how to fit new things in, and with that has came the tough decision to go through my collection and find some things that other people would appreciate more than me and hopefully get at least a little bit of space back. Unfortunately, I don't think there's quite as many things as I hoped there would be, but at the same time, it'll at least help a little bit. Originally, I was just going to have this be a manga unhaul, however, I did go through some of my merchandise things as well, and a few things there as well, so I thought I'd just throw it all together in one video. So let's get started. So I'm going to start off with the manga, and the first series we have is volume 1 of the Summer Hikaru Died. Now, I picked this up because I had heard it talked about a lot. There was a lot of people singing its praises, and I have read it, and I didn't think it was bad. But to be honest, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't super love it, I didn't super hate it. It was just kind of like meh to me, and that's not because it is bad. It's just, I don't think this is a genre that I typically like, and I knew that going into it, but I was hoping because it was so well talked about that, you know, maybe something in it would, you know, catch me. But obviously I have volume 1, I haven't made any attempt to get the later volumes, and it's just taking up space, which I could have for other things. Because it is such a talked about series, there's definitely going to be someone who appreciates it more than me than just having it sit on my shelf and collect dust. So that is the first one, the Summer Hikaru Died. Next up, this might be a surprising one if anyone here knows me, but it is the first 2 volumes of Puella, Madoka, Magica. And if you know me, I am a huge Madoka Magica fan. I have the most figures from that series. I love it so dearly. It's one of my top favourite series. My love for it isn't going anywhere. It's just, first of all, there is a 3rd volume that I don't have, and I will probably never get, just because I don't see a need to get it. I've had these for years, and I don't think I've actually ever read them, and that's just because obviously, Madoka Magica is an anime original series. The anime is just the ultimate way to experience it, in my opinion. One of the things I absolutely love about it is the visual direction and the sound design, and those are 2 things that you're not going to be able to see in the series. The voice acting also adds a lot. And yeah, I don't see a need to own these, to be honest. As I said, I've never gone to read them despite how much I like Madoka Magica. There is obviously the omnibus version, so if I do decide I actually do want it in my collection for whatever reason, I'll probably just get the omnibus version and then I have all 3 volumes together. Unfortunately, saying goodbye to these, but they just take up space, they go around my shelves, I never know where to put them. But yeah, unfortunately they are a little dinged up, but I'm sure someone out there will appreciate them more than me. Next up, I have 2 volumes, which are 2 different series, but I'm grouping them together because both of them were a gift. And that is Yashahime, Princess Half Demon, and Happy Kaneko's Color Life. As I said, these were both gifts. Because they were gifts, I felt like I couldn't get rid of them, but at the end of the day, I think the person who gave them to me would rather I have the extra space for things I actually care about. They got these knowing that I might not necessarily like them, so yeah, I actually haven't read either of these. I have seen in the entirety of Inuyasha. I've never read the manga. But I have literally no desire to read Yashahime, just because it's not from Rumiko Takahashi, and obviously there's the controversial element as well within Yashahime, which just kind of puts me off it in general. If I ever did, I'd probably go the anime route. And then this one is just a comedic 4-coma style manga, and it seems fun, but this just typically isn't my style. I don't tend to go for pure comedy things. Obviously there's a couple exceptions in my collection, but it's also a very pricey series. If you can see, it's $13.99 for a very thin volume. Obviously it's all in colour, but there are other series of this kind of style that I'd much rather have than this as well. So yeah, it's just a case of these were gifts and it just turns out that they weren't really for me, and as I said, the person who gifted them to me would much rather I have the space of things I actually enjoy rather than keeping these on just because they were a gift. So yes, this is me telling you all, as long as it's not sentimental, it's okay to get rid of gifts. I'm saying that as someone who is a huge hoarder of gifts, so yes. And then next up, this one actually also was a gift, but I have a bit more to say on it rather than just they weren't for me, so that's why I decided to put it separately, and that is volume 1 of Fruits Basket, the collector's edition. First of all, these are very gorgeous editions. They are beautiful. So I have seen the entirety of both the original Fruits Basket anime and the remake. I haven't read the manga, and to be honest, I have no desire to read the manga. Fruits Basket is a series which I genuinely believe it's a good series. I know it's so beloved and dear to so many people, and I'm so glad that so many people have found like such a kind of comfort and safe zone within this series. However, I have a lot of personal issues with Fruits Basket, and those personal issues are just, they're never gonna go, unfortunately, and they kind of have ruined my enjoyment of this series as a whole. This is a case of, I got this as a gift and I was like, oh sweet, I'm gonna try and get the rest of them, and then as time went on I realised I was never gonna go and get the rest of them. So obviously Fruits Basket is a very, very well loved series. There is definitely gonna be someone who will appreciate this way more than me, as someone who just like can't overlook certain things within the series. So yes, I hope someone really appreciates this volume once I unhaul it. And then next up we have the biggest part of this manga unhaul, and that is the first 10 volumes of The King's Beast. Now, this is a series where I went into it, I read the first, I want to say 3 volumes, and I absolutely loved it. I was so into the concept, into the art, into the setting, everything about it. I was like, yes, this is amazing. I love the series. And then, as the series went on, things happened, and I did not like these things that happened, and I really, really tried to give it a good go, because it was from volume 4 where I started feeling iffy towards it. And as each volume went on, I got more things that I was feeling iffy about, and as I said, I really gave it a good go. I gave it up to volume 10, and the one thing that kept me going in this series was the main relationship between the 2 main characters. And I will be honest, I read ahead a little bit online just to see if potentially it would be able to capture my interest again. Yeah, no, it definitely wouldn't be able to. This is a very much a non-negotiable thing for me. There is absolutely no way I'm going to enjoy this series. Now, I have read the, what was it called? The Water Dragon's Bride, and then a little bit of Dawn of the Arcana, and I've discovered I just don't really tend to like this author's way of storytelling. However, I overlooked it because of so many elements within the first few volumes of this. It became increasingly clear to me that as the series went on, I still cannot overlook the way the author tells their stories, unfortunately, and I'm incredibly sad about that. There's also like a really big part that happens about midway through the series, which I don't think is treated with as much severity, I guess, as it should have. It's really hard to explain it without going into spoiler territory, which obviously I don't want to do. I did consider actually talking about it and then leaving timestamp, but I've decided not to. But if anyone does want to know my thoughts and feelings on it, feel free to ask. I will be happy to give you a full in-depth reasoning as to why I do not like the series. But I just want to on the record that I gave it, as I said, I started feeling iffy about it at volume 4. I gave it a whole 6 volumes after that to try and get my attention back again. So I gave it a fair chance. But yes, I will be unhauling all 10 volumes of this, and at least it will give me a little bit of space, so that's the most important thing. But at the end of the day, the art is gorgeous. I will say that. I still think that the art is stunning in these volumes. And then lastly, for the manga side, this actually isn't a manga, it's a danmei, and to be honest, I'm on the fence about this. So I'm putting this in this video for someone to convince me to keep these, because I really want to, but I'm also trying to be realistic, and that is the first 2 volumes of Heaven's Official Blessing. Now, I have read the first volume of Heaven's Official Blessing, and I remember finishing it and being like, yes, I absolutely need to read the second volume. This was like 2 years ago now. I have not touched this. Actually, that's a lie. There's one time I went to go read it, and I got like halfway through a page, and I was like, I'm not feeling it today, and stopped. There's really no point owning these if I'm never going to read or continue the series, because obviously there's way more volumes past volume 2, and if I'm already struggling with volume 2, then is there point in me, you know, trying, like, keeping it and being like, oh, one day I'll get to it. I also know, obviously, danmei has become increasingly popular, and there's a huge fan base for it, so once again, I feel like someone else would appreciate these more. And then on top of that, they are releasing like deluxe editions of these, so maybe it'll be a case of I sell these and then I'll be like, actually I want to try it again and then get the deluxe edition. I don't know. Basically, this is me saying, please can someone convince me, give me a reason that will force me to read volume 2. Because maybe I should wait until I read volume 2 and then unhaul it and decide from there. But at the end of the day, I don't want to read volume 2 and then have the same thing where I'm like, okay, I absolutely need to read volume 3, and then 2 years go by and I don't read it. This is a series I just want to continue, but I just don't. I don't for some reason, and it really bugs me. So yes, someone convince me in the comments, please. Thank you. That was the last of the manga or manga adjacent things. However, I do have some other anime goods. And the first 2 things might be kind of shocking. I don't know if they will be. I'm going to be getting rid of 2 nendoroids, and those are the Atsushi and Dazai nendoroids from Bungo Stray Dogs. There is a part of me that is incredibly sad to get rid of these because, first of all, they are adorable nendoroids. They are so cute. I genuinely loved having them on my shelf and looking at them and the poses. I no longer really like Bungo Stray Dogs, or at least the way I used to, and I definitely don't care about it as a series as much as the other ones that I have figures and things from. Obviously, Bungo Stray Dogs has a huge fan base, and I'm sure there are people that would want these nendoroids more than me. And on top of that, so my favourite character in Bungo Stray Dogs is Rampo, and Rampo got a nendoroid recently, but obviously I haven't bought it because I'm not really into Bungo Stray Dogs as much as before. So it feels weird to have nendoroids of 2 characters I don't like as much as my favourite and not have the favourite character's nendoroid. Does that make sense to anyone? I hope it does. As I said, I am kind of sad about this, but at the end of the day, I've put them away in their boxes for about 2 weeks to a month now. I haven't changed my mind about, unhauling them. So I think it's a good decision. I am sad about it. I know I've said that like a million times, but I think, as I said, someone will appreciate these more than me, and I'd rather have the space for more things. And unfortunately, I'm buying so many more nendoroids, so I feel like I need to cull it somewhere, and these 2 were the takers. It's such a shame because I used to love Bungo Stray Dogs so much, and honestly, it was mostly season 5 that ruined it for me. And I was so hopeful because obviously when season 5 was airing, it actually had gone past the point in the manga. And I was so hopeful that they were just doing anime original stuff with the ending, and then the manga continued and it showed they weren't, and I felt so disappointed, and since then I just haven't been able to enjoy the series the same way I used to, which is such a shame. Okay, the next things I have are a whole bunch of Oshinoko standees. Now, a couple of them I'm a little bit on the fence about, so I might just keep them. So I have these holographic Oshinoko standees, and I do also have the eye one. These 3 have been in the bag since I bought them, which was last year, and it was literally a case of like, at the time was super into Oshinoko, and I saw holographic and I was like, I need them all. Now, I would like to clarify, I'm still an Oshinoko fan. I know obviously it's a bit controversial, but personally I still enjoy the series. I do not need this much, and as I said, these have been in the bag since I've got them, so these I'm definitely going to be unhauling. I am a little bit unsure of. Obviously, I have had her on display before, and I do like her, but it's just, there's other things I would rather display, so undecided about her. And then these 2 I'm also undecided about, which are these like smaller ones for kind of a memcho, which they're super cute. They don't take up much room, but I've also had these packaged up since I got them last year. If I'm going to keep any of them, I would keep Memcho, just because I really like Memcho's design, but I don't like her enough to buy like stuff of her, so it's nice to have like a little thing for her. For Kana, I already have other things of her, so I feel like I don't really need this as much. So yes, these 2 I'm on the fence about a bit more. Maybe I'll just keep Memcho for now and get rid of Kana, I don't know. And then the rest of the stuff I'm just gonna throw on the screen because it's a whole bunch of like random miscellaneous things. So I have this Zen Sandy. I have a whole bunch of these like Bungo Stray Dogs acrylic charms. So these are the ones that I had on display, so they're out of the packages. And then it came in a set, so I have these ones as well. So I'm gonna be unhauling those. And then I have a couple Twisted Wonderland things for Apple that I'm gonna be unhauling. Just because these came in like sets for things. And then I do have some Iris 7 stuff I'm gonna be unhauling just because I have so much of it, and this stuff I can't see myself using anywhere. I'm still keeping the majority of it, just to clarify, but this is more of a would like more spacing. So I have this memo thing, which the only reason I want to get rid of this is just because it's huge and I'm not going to put it anywhere. And then I have these Rivali things, so I have these little keychains. I have these, which these are the only things that I might keep. I'm undecided about them, but I'm probably not going to. And then I have a couple mezzo things, so I have these, which don't know if anyone will want, but I don't need them. And then we have this duo one, and then we have this like matching set one of those. Yeah, those are the last of the things that I'm going to be unhauling. It's always sad to see things go, but that's kind of the fun of collecting, changing it as your mood change and your likes and interests change. So yeah, that will be the end of this video. I'm curious to know if anyone else has like some personal rules about unhauling, so feel free to let me know in the comments, because I would love to talk to you guys about like when you kind of decide it's time to unhaul things. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!